Welcome in. Tuesday, December 5th. Thomas Miller on the Fun Astrology Podcast. Thanks so much for stopping by. How are ya? Let's go outside for a second before we take a look at the chart. Been wanting to do this, and it's been cloudy here, and I just keep forgetting. But I saw this Sunday night when I was walking around the lake, and it was clear, and it was beautiful. And I thought, we need to talk about this for a minute. What can you see in the sky right now? Well, in the evening sky, you can see Jupiter, and then Saturn is up above it. So Saturn will be higher in the sky. Jupiter is very bright on the horizon as it's coming up. And then in the morning, Venus is the morning star. So you could see Venus a couple hours before sunrise. Cool little trick. If you just go wherever you are and cast a chart on your phone, you can use astro.com or astro-seek.com or an app if you have one, and cast a chart for right now when you're out there looking and it's dark. That chart will show you what's in the sky. Because if you're fairly new to astrology, this is a great trick. You're out and somebody says, "What's that? What's that up there?" Well, you just pull your chart out real quick and say, "Hang on. That's Jupiter." You're like, "Oh, you're smart." Well, no, I'm just looking at the sky up there, following along. So basically, when you cast your chart, now I use the equal house system. The 9 o'clock position is sunrise, and the 3 o'clock position is sunset. And then you just follow the sun counterclockwise. So it rises, goes up to the highest point, high noon, at the 12 o'clock position, comes down. So as it's rising, you can see what's ahead of it in the morning. As it sets, you can see what is up there in the sky and where it is. But remember, it's backwards from the sky, right? So if you're looking at the sunset, that's on the right side of the chart. If you were looking on a map, that's east, but it's west. So as you see that Jupiter up there in the 12th or 11th house, that's in the eastern sky, not the western sky. Just think backwards. But it's a pretty cool show. Oh, and one other thing, Jupiter, Uranus, and the Pleiades are kind of in a line with each other right along the ecliptic right now. So if you see Jupiter rising, then know that Uranus is behind it and the Pleiades behind that. And then when it flips over and starts setting, then Jupiter is high, Uranus and Pleiades are below it. And you could look at the relativity between Uranus and Jupiter right there on the chart. You see that they're 14 degrees apart in Taurus on the chart. If you had a telescope, you'd probably see some of that blue from Uranus. It's beautiful if you haven't seen it before. Now, we have one planetary aspect today, and the moon is changing to last quarter today. The planetary aspect happens at 10 till 6 p.m. Eastern tonight. Venus in a water trine to Saturn. Venus in Scorpio, Saturn in Pisces. Venus is in a pretty critical spot on this alignment because it's halfway between the sun and the moon. That midpoint, they are right there together today. So that amplifies the focus on Venus here for sure. Now, this is a trine, not a square, not an opposition. So there is favorability, cooperation, working together. We camped out on Venus yesterday. The high side of Saturn is taking it slow and steady and solid. Venus represents the things that we love, our inner passions, our inner desires, things that we value. Well, now this is a coming and going aspect, but what it's saying is that if you will reevaluate and just simply retweak or retool your focus on those things that you value, then start to move in a slow, steady, solid direction. Don't try to leap from here to there. This isn't Mars. This isn't Mercury. This isn't Jupiter, right? It's Saturn in Pisces. If you'd like to get another layer of flavor on this, hop over to the Old Soul, New Soul podcast and listen to the episode that we did on Saturn in Pisces, this whole series that we're just getting ready to wrap up. You could listen to the episodes on, you could do both, Taurus and Libra. Now, let's peek around the corner. Tomorrow we have a big one, 8:22 in the morning, Neptune stations direct. That's the first domino in a triple trip here. Then at 8:50 in the morning, the moon trines Pluto. Yes, that's the last aspect before it goes void of course at 8:50 tomorrow morning Eastern. Then it enters Libra at 11:35 a.m. 2 3/4 hour void of course tomorrow morning. Now, if you're following our little lunar plan, you can go to funastrology.com/moon and get the lunar chart from Kristen. There's a download there, or you can just pop that URL in your phone and view it right there. But this last aspect now for Libra, which will be on Friday, is going to be a square to Pluto. So this Libra transit of the moon is going to be a little bit hairy, even though there are some positive aspects in between, according to that system that Steve Forrest lines out in the Book of the Moon, which I'm still working on. You look at that last aspect before the next void, of course, and it is tense. So just kind of throttling back here a little bit if you want to follow that system. Particularly Thursday. There are some good aspects on Thursday, especially with the moon. So just chill and, don't try to push things too far forward. And that actually corresponds with that Saturn relationship to Venus today. So that kind of sets the tone for the rest of the week. It really does. Like a chill week, balanced, Libra. Somebody needs to have a talk with the host of this podcast about that. We'll have to work on it. Get your journal out, Thomas. My moon's in Libra too, but I don't have no moon. Have a good one. I love you. Back tomorrow.